Hey guys, I'm Angela, and this week we're going to be talking about the Warhammer 40k Orc Pre-Orders, the new season of Warhammer Underworlds, and there's a new line of D&D miniatures that has me intrigued. This and more in this week's Tabletop News. Let's start with the Warhammer 40k Orc Pre-Orders, because now you can go ahead and pre-order the new Orc codex, you can pre-order the new Orc datasheets, and the dice to go along with them, along with a large number of the Orc models, but not everything. Although I am pretty excited because it means I'm going to be able to fill out the Orc army that I've been working on for the channel a bit more, because now I can get some more Beast Snagga Boyz, and I can also get the Ork Boyz ×2. Actually, I think I need 2 boxes of that to fill out the army. And I can actually fill that out, which is great, although I am a little disappointed that we're not going to be seeing some of the characters like the new Weird Boy, the new Pain Boss, and Mozgrog himself, which is especially a bummer for me because I put up a vote over on Patreon to continue the Orc series, and my patrons voted for him to be the next thing that I painted, and I really had expected him to kind of, come out with this launch, especially since GW is calling it an early October. It's a little bit of a on-the-nose marketing there, and I don't know if they should really continue using that since the last October was also super disappointing to some people. But there's another interesting thing that's come up with the pre-orders, and that is the Combat Patrol, which has some interesting things happening with it if you actually look at what's coming in that box. Because while you do get sprues to make a 20-man squad of boys, it's not really a full 20-man squad like you'd want to. All of the models are monopose. You get 5 choppas, you get 3 shooters, you get a mandatory heavy weapons boy, and a mandatory knob, meaning that with this kit, you really can build 2 identical 10-man squads and can't even put them together to make a full 20-man squad of boys, which has a lot of people very concerned because normally they tend to take these kits and split them up into the boxes. So does that mean that you're gonna have to buy a bunch of boxes extra just to be able to make a full 20-man squad if you were wanting to run all choppas and all shooters or something like that? That just seems really unnecessary and like a severely bad choice on GW's part. I hope they address this and change it so that it's not so restrictive for people when they're going to build these models, especially considering the fact that the Beast Snagga Boyz, the Commandos out of the Kill Team set, and the old Ork Boyz set, which is in 9th edition packaging, all have the options to build things a little bit more friendly and actually build up all these models the way that people want them to. It just seems like a really bad choice on GW's part. Now, additionally for GW, we got a look at the new season of Warhammer Underworld, Season 5 in fact, and it's going to be featuring the Kruelboyz because they previewed one of the models from it, and it is an adorable little grot. GW is really spoiling us with these unique grot models, and honestly, I can't wait to see who his companion is because I wonder just how they're going to pair together and how they're going to work in the game. Plus, I'm super hyped to see some new Kruelboyz models, sorry about that. I know they're relatively new, but Underworlds always has unique sculpts, and so I'm really excited to see what they do with this and what maybe the leader character of this particular gang might be. Plus, it has me thinking that we're probably gonna get Stormcast Eternal for the companion in the starter box, only because I assume they're going to want to follow what they did with Dominion and stick with those pairings just to be able to help those people who are starting those armies really fill them out fully. It's pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what all the additional sets will be.
Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Well, while you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video.
Next up, we're going to move into the realm of Dungeons & Dragons because the company WizKids, who already makes a line of official D&D and some official Pathfinder miniatures, is moving into Games Workshop's territory and making some on-sprue models, which I am super hyped for. There are going to be a number of options that you can get, including some individual models, which mostly looks like it's going to be player character models, so stuff like elf clerics, dwarf fighters, human rangers, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be able to get those. There's, I think, about 12 of them or so. I can't remember specifically, but they look pretty cool. They're going to have some options for doing different things. So they are going to be multi-part to some extent, which is going to give you a little bit of opportunity to play around with weapons or maybe hairstyles and that kind of thing, which is pretty rad. But the thing that has me more interested about this line are going to be the kits that come with multiple miniatures in them, such as the first wave, which is going to be kobolds and orcs. You can never have too many monsters when you're playing in D&D and fantasy games in general, so I'm really excited to see these kits come out, and I want to know what scale they're going to end up being on and whether or not they can be used in other systems, such as a Games Workshop line, or just using them in other games and everything. Then they're going to also have their larger models, which is going to include some of the bigger, scarier monsters, such as the Great Beholder, or a very cool looking Drider, which is one of the two models that I'm really interested in potentially painting on the channel once they release in January of next year. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you want to see me work on some D&D models that you have to be built together just like the GW stuff, but then painting that up, let me know down in the comments, because I am definitely looking forward to this line coming out, and I'll be checking them out no matter what. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of a sadder news topic, where we're going to be talking about the fact that IDW Games is closing. They are unfortunately closing due to financial difficulties, which I can completely understand, because if you're not familiar with IDW Games, they make a lot of games based on intellectual properties, such as The Legend of Korra, Ghostbusters, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And with the rise of popularity of these titles, as nostalgia grows and as they get big box movies and everything like that, they become more and more expensive to be able to license, and I just don't think IDW can maintain that. And because they work almost exclusively on intellectual property games, I'm not surprised to see them go, but I am sad to see it happen. We're going to be talking about Android Netrunner. If you remember that from Fantasy Flight back in the day, which has actually not been that long. I think it went under in 2018, I believe, or maybe 2019. I can't actually recall now, but it's only recently been discontinued. But fans of that series should be excited, because Wizards of the Coast is looking at picking up the trademark. There are no plans on what exactly they're going to be doing with it, but this could potentially mean that the system comes back, the game reignites, potentially we see other media done with it, potentially like comics, video games, animated series perhaps. It's very exciting. I know that Netrunner was always hugely popular at my local game store. It was actually incredibly shocking to me when I heard that Fantasy Flight was discontinuing it, since at my local store, that was, of all of the living card games that Fantasy Flight was making at the time, that was the system that was run the most often. People came in and played it consistently each week, and then it just got discontinued. I don't know if the license got too expensive or what happened with it, but it was really sad to see it go, so it's very exciting now to see that Wizards of the Coast might be looking to pick it up. I also wanted to talk today about the Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond card sets that are coming out, because they're a really cool line. They include crossovers, which is really cool, and beyond stuff that is included in the Wizards of the Coast family already, a la Dungeons & Dragons, because that has already crossovered. This is going to include intellectual properties that they don't own, including Warhammer 40,000, Lord of the Rings, and I believe a couple of other big titles as well. The one that is coming, I think, earliest is the Warhammer 40k one, and it's going to include, at minimum, some commander decks, at least 4 of them, which I will probably be trying to get my hand on, because I need that. It's gonna be cool. I always like the Magic of the Gathering artwork. They always do some amazing stuff, and it's going to be 40k art, so it's probably gonna be superb, and it's gonna be good. However, I do want to talk about one of my complaints with this. One, we do not know if we are going to be getting draft boosters for all of these or any additional products for all of these lines, which, if they're just releasing commander decks for this, it seems kind of weird. 2, they're doing some secret layer drops with this, and I dislike secret layers so very much. As somebody who works as a buyer in a friendly local game store, those are incredibly difficult to get a hold of, nigh impossible for retailers, and it really sucks that a lot of really cool product ends up going into those, and they basically are direct only, sell out immediately, and get bought up like by scalpers in the same way that a lot of like the limited edition GW stuff gets bought up. So it's really unfortunate to see some of these limited edition cool intellectual property crossovers getting mixed up in the secret layer stuff and making it really difficult to get a hold of, because I bet there's going to be a 40k one, and I am not even going to try, because It frustrates me too much to bother, but I probably wouldn't even be able to get my hands on it in the first place anyways because it'd sell out immediately. I might still try for the Chaos Cultist because he just looked really sad off camera when I said that, so maybe I will try anyways, but I still don't like that they're doing the secret layer thing. The Commander decks, however, I definitely hope I can get my hands on. Well, hopefully, maybe we'll do an unboxing of that or something on the channel if we do get a hold of it, just so that you guys can all see it and I can gush over some cool art. All right, that has been this week in tabletop news. I hope you guys don't mind me adding in some additional content to the news. I wanted to cover some new things, and I'm really excited about those framework miniatures, and I really want to talk about them. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell icon for notifications. I also wanted to give a massive thank you to my patrons for supporting me and making it so that content like this can continue to happen. You guys are awesome, and I very much appreciate you. Anyways, I have been Angela, you have been watching Hobby Night, and I'll see you guys next week where I'll be painting up that cool orc terrain that I built this past week, and also with some more news. Bye!